The Modern Psalmist Podcast. Hi, and welcome to the Modern Psalmist Podcast for the 25th Sunday in Ordinary Time, Year A. I'm Rebecca Della Torre. Today's readings focus on the merciful and generous nature of God. Whether it's the enduring promise of being there for His people, the boundless forgiveness that He always shows us, or the unexpected generosity that He demonstrates, we are reminded of the comforting embrace of God's mercy. In the Entrance Antiphon taken from Psalm 37, we are encouraged to call upon the Lord in our time of need. I am the salvation of the people, says the Lord. Should they cry to me in any distress, I will hear them, and I will be their Lord forever.
I am the salvation of the people, says the Lord. Should they cry to me in any distress, I will hear them, and I will be their Lord forever.
In our first reading from Isaiah chapter 55, we are again encouraged to call on the Lord. In verse 6, we read, "Seek the Lord while He may be found. Call Him while He is near." And in the psalm today, from chapter 145, we repeat the reminder that God will be near to those who call on Him in the response from verse 18. The Lord is near to all who call upon Him.
The Lord is near to all who call upon Him. The Lord is near to all who call upon Him. Every day I will bless You, and I will praise Your name forever and ever. Great is the Lord, and highly to be praised. His greatness is unsearchable. The Lord is near to all who call upon Him. The Lord is gracious and merciful, slow to anger and of great kindness. The Lord is good to all and compassionate toward all His works. The Lord is near to all who call upon Him. The Lord is just in all His ways and holy in all His works. The Lord is near to all who call upon Him, to all who call upon Him in truth. The Lord is near to all who call upon Him. The Lord is near to all who call upon Him.
In the Gospel today, Jesus tells the parable of the laborers in the vineyard. Essentially, a landowner goes out at various times during the day to find laborers for his vineyard, starting at dawn, offering the usual daily wage, and continuing until about 5 o'clock. At the end of the day, the workers who started last were first to receive their pay, and it was the standard daily wage, even though they had only worked an hour. So by the time the landowner pays the ones who had been there all day, they grumble and say, These last ones were only here 1 hour, and you have made them equal to us, who bore the day's burden and the heat." He said to one of them in reply, "My friend, I am not cheating you. Did you not agree with me for the usual daily wage? Take what is yours and go. What if I wish to give this last one the same as you? Or am I not free to do as I wish with my own money? Are you envious because I am generous?" I have to admit, if this was my situation, I would definitely be one of the ones complaining. It would seem completely unfair. But at the same time, the workers who started first agreed to work for the wage that they were paid, and they received what they agreed to. Now, Jesus likened this parable to the kingdom of heaven. So I interpret it to mean that some people will labor all their lives serving God, while some will only receive Jesus as Lord near the end of their lives. However, God promises us all the same reward of an eternity in heaven. And don't we want that for our fellow souls in this world? Who would want anyone to be condemned to an eternity apart from God? An eternity devoid of love? Take a moment to stop and think about someone who has done you wrong recently. Even just as simple as being rude to you on the road. Or maybe it's someone that you encounter regularly. Ask God to continually give you patience with that person and with all people who you feel treat you unjustly. And thank God for His eternal mercy toward you when you are the one who is unjust. Do you realize that this is our work? We are the laborers, and our work is to learn to love. Love God with all our being, and love our neighbor as we love ourselves. This is what Jesus tells us is the greatest commandment, and the summation of the law and the prophets. And in the second reading from St. Paul's letter to the Philippians, chapter 1, we are reminded in verse 27 to conduct yourselves in a way worthy of the gospel of Christ. Our communion antiphon is another call to the Lord. In this case, we ask for help in keeping His commands. Taken from Psalm chapter 119, verses 4 and 5, we sang, "You have laid down your precepts to be carefully kept. May my ways be firm in keeping your statutes."
You have laid down your precepts to be carefully kept. May my ways be firm in keeping your statutes. I will keep your statutes. Do not ever forsake me. You have laid down your precepts to be carefully kept. May my ways be firm in keeping your statutes. I obey your precepts and decrees. All my ways are before you. You have laid down your precepts to be carefully kept. May my ways be firm in keeping your statutes.
One song I selected for my masses this weekend as a reflection song is a great fit with the readings today that remind us to call on the Lord. It is titled "Out of the Deep I Call" by Sir Henry Williams Baker, who composed lyrics in 1868 to the tune of Southwell by William Damon from 1579. The haunting melody is so beautiful that I even composed my own Spanish lyrics for the song and titled it, Desde lo hondo a ti grito. Here is my musical interpretation of the original English version by Sir Henry Williams Baker.
Out of the deep I call, to thee, O Lord, to thee. Before thy throne of grace I fall, be merciful to me. Out of the deep I cry, the woeful deep of sin, of evil done in days gone by, of evil now within. Out of the deep I fear and dread of coming shame. All night till morning, much is near. I plead the precious name. Lord, there is mercy now, as ever was with thee. Before thy throne of grace I bow, be merciful to me.
Thanks for joining me on the Modern Psalmist podcast for the 25th Sunday in Ordinary Time, Year A. As always, links to the songs can be found in the show notes. If you are enjoying this podcast, please take a moment to share it with a friend. God bless you, and see you next week. This episode of The Modern Psalmist was recorded and produced at Top Cat Studios in Tempe, Arizona.